Okay, so here are 4 flats of broccoli, and I have a bit of an issue. I can still work around it. Nothing I would sell to the public, but I'll still consume it. But what happened, I was out of town. I started this without thinking, and I was going to be gone for 8 days, so I put more water in the tray than what I would have normally. So normally I will flood the tray, let it sit for a minute, maybe 10 minutes, drain it, and in this case I left water in it. So now what ended up happening is I have these patches of mold through here. There's some there, there's some there. You can really see it. I got my lights on, so but anyway, mold is something that you'll have to battle at some level. Ways to battle it is first off, make sure that there isn't too much water. So there's this fine line that you have to walk with water. So we don't want too much, we don't want not enough, we want just right. So I will say that high 98% of the time I do not face mold. Again, this instance, I was traveling for 8 days. I wasn't thinking before I left and started these seeds, and then didn't have any way to keep watering and letting it dry and water dry. So anyway, because of that, it sat in too much water, and now lo and behold, I have mold. I came home to 4 flats of broccoli, but there's parts of it that I'll eat, but it wouldn't be something that would sell to anybody. And then there's parts that I still have to avoid because of the mold. But another thing that can be done, some people will use hydrogen peroxide, food grade hydrogen peroxide. I don't. I just don't like the idea of it. People are going to swear by it. Great, do what you want to do. But putting a fan on it, some people use dehumidifiers. I don't, because I'm in a dry climate. I grow these types of things in my basement, so it's a controlled climate too. But I will put a fan on it if I'm leaving some water in it to keep it a little more damp, or a little more water on it, because the plants themselves do end up with, if you can see, there's what appears to be water, and that's just the plant. There's a word for it that's escaping me right now, but even in an outside garden, if you look at your plants in the morning, it's not just dew. It can be dew, but the plants will emit some what appears to be water. So by putting fans on it, I tend to not have these issues. Again, I usually don't have too much water in my trays, so I don't typically have these issues, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen to the best of us, and it's something that can ruin your flat of microgreens real quick, because it's spreading. So I'll just harvest this, because you can see right here, all this is really good, and then, you know, I'll probably cut to about here and just go around it and avoid the mold to the best of my ability. But mold is something that you're going to have to deal with, and I think it's a matter of dialing in your water and keeping good airflow on it. But when you've drained your table and you're just putting a fan on it, then you run the risk of drying it out. So if you're concerned about the moisture on your plants, as they're touching each other, what I recommend doing is putting a little bit of water that's seeping up into the tray, not more into the grow median, and then turn the fan on and let it run overnight, but leaving water in, because even as you do that, you're going to lose water to the fan evaporating some of the water. So the next day I'd come down and kick the fan off and water one more time and drain, and then just keep that cycle going. But normally mold is not my issue. This time it is my issue because I left too much water in my tray as I was traveling. So anyway, just wanted to share a little bit about the grossness of mold, I guess, and what it does, because you can see it just like the plant here, this space here just starts to wither away and turns to black slime, basically. Brown slime, smells bad. But I will be harvesting parts of it anyway, not most of it, because I don't want to let it go to waste. But I'll consume it. It's not something that I would sell to the public. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful.